Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of an issue with the technology, but excited to be here with you guys here this morning. Give me just 1 second here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of an issue with the technology, but excited to be here with you guys here this morning. Give me just 1 second here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of All right, are we coming through okay? Give me some information to live stream, make sure that we're actually still going on this live streaming service. Don't know if I paused, X'd out of the wrong screen. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. We changed over some things from the conversion. Let me know if you guys just lost me on the stream. Let's see here. If we're still going. Yeah, we should still be going. Do we disappear? Let me know. All good. Fantastic. Nathan, you're the man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had it set up for our last for the live stream that we did using completely different technology for everything that we were going to be doing for the live stream with the three amigos. I don't know how I ended up being our tech specialist. I'm a salesperson. Oh, goodness gracious me. Video and audio is thumbs up. Man, you guys are the best. Fantastic. Super excited to be here, guys. Lots of fun we'll have today. This I promise you. Things to keep in mind for today that I think are going to be super important for us are going to be, we're going to talk about a deal. So I know that we all love to talk about deals. That's what's most important because this is why we do this stuff. So we're certainly going to talk about deals. Hold on 1 second. Let me just minimize this. I gotta get a second monitor. Holy Toledo, I gotta get a second monitor. Yeah, all right. Here's what we're gonna do. Too much real estate, or not enough real estate, actually. All right, I'm gonna go over this way, and then bring this over this way. And all right, now we're in better shape. Holy Toledo, could I make this any more difficult? Sweet heavens. All right. So yeah, we got lots of stuff to cover today. We're going to talk about a real deal. Also wanted to kind of get your guys' feedback too. So watched I was watching some other videos and there's seemingly like more vitriol than there normally is in the market towards landlords. And I think that, this absurd notion that we buy up all the stuff that's out there, it's just factually not true. I lose to owner occs all the time. Owner occupants, buyers. And a lot of times I'm not even buying the same asset that they're buying, and largely speaking. So yeah, so I think that, as I watch that stuff, I don't want to say it bothers me. I guess the mindset troubles me. There's some stuff that I've been watching that's just been, quite frankly, absolute hot garbage. And so what I want to say to those that are looking to invest is you're going to have to get thicker skin. Maybe you already have it, but largely speaking, you're going to have to get thicker skin. We've done everything that we could possibly do to have, to have good relationships with our tenants. I think what's really funny is that no matter what we do to have those good relationships with our tenants, sometimes there's just nothing we can do about it. And they end up being what they are. So whatever. All right. Now I think I'm good with my settings. Holy Toledo, that was difficult. Anyway, so like I said, just have thicker skin. Recognize that people aren't going to be necessarily enthused that you're a landlord. They're going to instantly say you're a slumlord. I get that all the time. And the funny thing is it's like, you guys have seen the videos of my places online. I mean, I won't rent out a place that I won't live in. So I think being generally judged is it's like every other general judgment when you paint it with one swipe. So yeah, I think again, so stay tough, stay strong, be encouraged, don't worry about what the people on the sidelines are saying. Quite frankly, it just doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan, in the number of things that he heard hurled at him for all those years, did he really care? Did it affect him? It just didn't, and he didn't even take it from guys in the game that are not on his level, but we're colleagues of his. So continue to do the homework, continue to create the opportunity for your family to realize financial freedom. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Listen, we can't change the system. The system is what it is. It's our job. It's every person's job to leverage the system and have it work for them. That's how it works. That's what entrepreneurs do. So anyway, that being said, let's talk about welcomes first. Let's talk about welcomes. Let's get people welcomed in. It's a holiday weekend. Honestly, I'm so unbelievably bummed that this weekend's almost over. I won't lie. I really enjoyed my time. I really have enjoyed my time. So yeah, anyway. See, I thought I had all the settings done and boom, there you go. Yeah, time to get a second monitor. Holy Toledo. All right, now we're good. Okay, so let's jump in, guys. Matthew Paris, hello, Lumberjack. Hey, Matthew, good to see you. Merry Christmas. Could you cover my market in Orlando, Florida? No, I don't know anything about Orlando, and except I do know some people that are in Orlando that do a decent amount of work in Orlando. I am not one of those people. I had probably one of my closest friends asked me about Orlando, and I was like, dude, I have no idea. Literally, no joke. I sent them Mike's book. And I said, here you go. If you have any questions, I'll happily answer them. But yeah, totally not for me. So it's really funny that you asked that. And I think that was a joke. So hopefully, sorry. Let's go back to the questions, further questions up here. So yes, good morning. Tiffany White, good morning. Good morning. Pam Goodman, good morning. Looking forward to another great live stream. Me too. Today's going to be shorter. That I can promise you. I actually have family coming over to do the at a distance highs and hellos because of Eliana and us being in quarantine. And so that's going to happen around 1 o'clock ish. So we will have another 80 minutes of fun. So good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Matthew Paris. That was a great question, Matthew. Nathan, again, thank you guys for helping me, making sure the audio was all good. Wrong selection. Bummer. So anyway, got it all good with the setup. REI trainer, howdy, happy Sunday. Good, loud and clear, excellent. Yep, here I am. Yep, Ava, good morning. Good morning, Ava. Tiffany, yep, video, audio, good. Yep, Marco Polo, good morning, y'all. Merry Christmas, Marco Polo. I just wanted to stop by and give thanks to the Lumberjack Man and the whole One Rental at a Time network for all the content you bring out as the amigos. You're very welcome. Like I said, love doing that with Dion. He's a blast. We had plans for when he came out here to go hang out, and we ended up not being able to do it because we got quarantined with my daughter's chemo going on. So bummed that I miss him. Glad that we'll see him again soon. So looking forward to that for sure. So yeah, that's exciting. Let's see. Chris Miller, I've gotten to the point in my market where I can spot a great deal right away. Awesome. The problem is now with competing offers. Yes. So Chris Miller, one of the topics I wanted to talk about today was how I just won 2 deals. One deal, I was one of 9 offers. One deal, I was one of 7, and I didn't pay the most in any of those cases. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about winning offers. And I think that I have a couple things that differentiate me. There still are hot markets out there, surprisingly. Not if you believe some people. But I'm going to talk to you a couple strategies that I've used that actually worked out really, really well. We won those deals and we were not the top offer in either one. In fact, out of the one that was 9 offers, we were number 6 or number 3 from the top. So, and then the other one, I think we were number 2? Yeah, that one we were number 2 in. So we had a cleaner deal. But I'm going to walk you guys through strategies that I've used, strategies that I used to win those deals just last week. 2 weeks ago, a week ago. 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, within the last month. So I will definitely walk you through that, Chris, real quick. Make sure we get to that. So I'll be covering that shortly after we finish with the good mornings. So yeah, absolutely. And then, so yeah, we'll do that. Thanks, Chris. Don, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Don. Chris Miller, one slipped away from an all cash buyer, sight unseen, zero contingencies. That will happen if the deal's that hot and that, what I call a sexy deal. If the deal's that hot, yeah, for sure. You can still lose to an all cash deal for sure. For sure. Yep. Happens. Absolutely happens. Marco Polo, I can't wait to get home later and catch up. All the good stuff, y'all. We'll discuss. Absolutely, Marco. Happy to bring the heat for you. By the way, Marco, I don't think you've been here before. Super excited to have you here. If you enjoy this content, hit the like button. Don, thank you very much. Always appreciate that. Invest to Wealth. Good morning. John, Texas. Good morning. Ethan Wood. Good morning. Matt Herbert. Good morning. Good morning. Don, what are your thoughts on ICF blocks? That's very interesting. So I did a little bit of research on those probably a few years ago. It was when they were newer in the last, I don't know, probably 5 years or so ago, 4 or 5 years ago is when I looked at that. As you know, I'm not a builder. Don't pretend to be a builder. That might change someday. It's not going to change. Not today. But the ICF blocks, I did see, so it's a combination of the two things. One is the technology, and the main thing is the application of the ICF blocks. So one of the things that I saw in the foundation that I saw was it was not done well. And so they had to literally destroy parts of it to redo it. Hot garbage. It was a huge mistake. It was a huge mess. I would probably never buy the house unless they had ripped it down and started it from new. So I've only seen that done on one project firsthand, like with my own eyes. It did not go well, but I don't know about the technology, how it's changed, how much better it is. That I don't know. So I don't know enough about them to comment. And like I said, the only time I saw it, it was a horrible implementation. But anyway, that's what I have to offer you, Don, on that. So not a ton. Invest to Wealth. When house hacking every year, how would that affect your driver's license, primary address, credit address? Wonderful question. Wow. Invest to Wealth. I've never gotten that question before. Well done. Well done. Well done, Invest to Wealth. In fact, that's such a good question. I've never gotten that before. And don't start asking me oddball questions to say that I've never gotten that done before or never heard that before. So Invest to Wealth, you just won a set of books from Mr. Zuber. Invest to Wealth. You won his new book. I will send Mike a message later on today. I'll get him out to you. So yeah, very, 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 very good question. So here's what I did. In my state, I don't know if they allow this in other states, but in my state, you can actually pay extra to have your address on your ID, on your driver's license, be a PO box. That's how I did it. So everything that I have all goes to my PO box, literally everything. So the one thing you'll have issues with is when going into that new town and then trying to register and they want your proof of address. All you have to do is bring a utility bill. So the only thing that I don't have go there is I sign up for a hard copy of one of my utility bills. Electric bill usually is what we have come. Now we can still see it in our online portal. So we can still pay it there on our online portal, but I get that paperless statement. That way, every single month, if anything ever comes up, I have a utility bill that I can go use along with my ID that can then prove residency, and not that it's just a rental and then I'm trying to game some system. So that is the answer to your excellent, excellent question. So that's exactly what I do. After a few months, that PO box will become part of your online profile for credit bureaus and stuff. I had my identity stolen at one point, and so I actually have credit monitoring. Excuse me. And so awesome question. Love that question. It's never been asked before. So I think that's absolutely fantastic you asked that. So yeah. So driver's license, primary address, credit addresses. Yep. That's what it does. That's what it does. So that's the best way to do it. Manage it, electric bill to the house, everything else to the PO box. And then it's just a matter of going to the PO box. And so for us, we house hacked in towns that we did have the PO box, as well as towns that we didn't have the PO box. And that was never a problem for us. So that worked quite well. So yeah, great question. And Invest to Wealth, if I missed it, oh no, there's your already. Thank you. You're welcome. And it wasn't a big deal. Some people try to make it a big deal. It just wasn't a big deal. We had to pay a little bit of extra when we went and have our licenses redone. When we went to go get them redone, that's what we did. Because to your point, what a huge colossal pain in the ass that was, having to do that every single time that we moved. That was a nightmare. Yeah, total pain in the you know what. But anyway, yeah, great question. Dion Talk Financial. Good morning, Dion, my man. How you doing? Smash the like buttons. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Know thyself first. Good morning. Good morning. Dimitri Gurvich. Good morning. Thank you for sharing your time and wisdom. Happy to do it. Nikodon, this block called Perfect Block. Okay, never heard of it. Is supposed to be 10 to $11 a square foot as compared to wood framing. Interesting. That's interesting. Very interesting. So I'll go on the record and say this. I've done a lot of investigation on 3D building, 3D printing for building. It's going to get here someday, not here yet. It'll kind of be a challenge, but they're making a lot of inroads. There's a number of companies that do machines. And so I think that, to Don's point, thinking of different ways to get away from sticks, essentially get away from lumber, the cost of the variable rate of lumber. The funny thing is for decades upon decades, there was none of this, as far as, waves to that market. And now it's nuts. It's nuts. It's so unpredictable. And even being able to get some, I remember last year being in a lumber yard waiting for PT to come in, because we had to redo a deck to finish for a house. And this massive truckload came in, and the guy goes, and I said, yes, perfect timing. There it is. He goes, no. He goes to the back room, comes back out, and he goes, yeah, that entire truck's spoken for. I was like, what? He goes, it's already all sold. I was like, who can buy an entire truck? He goes, a builder. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. The local Home Depot had boards that you could do this with. They looked like snakes. They were garbage. So anyway, yeah, just one of those things. I thought it very interesting, but yeah, anything that anybody can do to start looking at alternatives to sticks is good. The only thing that I see as a challenge on the block side, Don, is affixing whatever material you're affixing to the block. Usually you still need some sort of lumber, even though it's a whole lot less, for what it's worth. And yeah, agreed with you on I just saw your thing pop up about longevity. Totally agree with you. If I built, that's why I started looking at the 3D buildings, is because I want longevity. And I know that even my houses that are 150 years old, they were built in the 1880s. Even those houses that are 150 years old and they've stayed this long, they'll stay another 100 years, but I don't have to do anything to a block. A block is there for another, 500 years, or unless there's an earthquake and that sort of thing. So yeah, likely speaking, that's there for a lot longer for sure. And yeah, finish with grouting. Yep. Yeah. The key there is wire management and that sort of stuff. Also, I don't know about cell service in some of these buildings or some of these houses, and that's going to be a pretty big concern, right? And the question is that then how you do, do you do like a in-house, frequency doubler and all this other stuff? That's still kind of TBD, to be determined. And that's the stuff that I'm looking at. Don, Invest Wealth, you're welcome. Don has your business mail. Yep. Go to your PO box. Sure. Yep. How do you prove your primary residence on government forms? Like here in Florida. Yep. You'll need your license to prove you live in a house, to pull an owner's permit, etc. They'll expect a piece of mail. Yeah. Yep. Unless it's a town that you do a lot of business in or that they know you, yeah, they expect your license. And then when your license says PO box, I bring them another piece of mail that shows them my PO box, but then I also bring them a piece of mail that shows residency of here's where I live, this is what it is. So that's how I do it. The other option that you have too is your passport. I have never gone that route, but that's something I heard from somebody else. I won't even look at stick built in my market, block only. Yep, too many termites. Yeah, water for Florida for sure. Yeah, I would. I don't even know the Florida market, but I know what my buddies deal with, and same thing with California. But yeah, and like the Tampa, Orlando, those areas where I talk to guys, yeah, it's got to be block. It's also easier to insulate the block, and then you're looking at change for with for air conditioning in the summertime. Totally agree. Yep. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yep. Yeah. Try the PO box hack. Yep. That worked. Not once have I had an issue with doing that. Not once. So yeah. Yep. Not once. Okay. All right. So I wanted to get into something today. Let's talk about a deal, guys. All right. Let's talk about a deal. So for those of you taking notes, and I wish I'd known I was going to do it through custom live streaming today, because if I did, I would have had this all on the computer. Oh, frost me. Unbelievable. Anyway, so let's talk about a deal. Actually, no, you know what? Chris, are you still here? Chris Miller. Give me a heads up that you're still here, Chris Miller. If Chris Miller is still here because he asked the question, I'm going to cover the buying strategy first. Because it's not about me. It's about you guys. Chris Miller, are you here, buddy? All right. Going once, going twice. All right. When you tell me you're here, I'll cover that. And for now, I'm going to cover the deal. All right. So the deal that I did is pretty awesome. If I do say so myself. So if you guys want to keep track of numbers, I jotted everything down to share with you guys. And here we go. So I bought this house for $160,000, $160K. It had been on the market for over 30 days. I was wondering why it was sitting. I went and I was like, you know what? What the heck? Maybe it's something worth going to look at. So we looked at it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it could be a brrr, but we'll take a look. So we did. Took a look, needed some work. It was in all right shape. And so I didn't think it would be horrible amount of work, probably 25 to 35 grand, or probably, no, I thought probably 20 grand is what I thought. That was my first thought. Hold on, guys. Just 1 second, guys. All right. So thought it might need about 20,000 bucks worth of work, i.e. it needed a kitchen. It needed some, some drywall work. It needed some flooring done, but nothing crazy. The heating system was newer. So, overall looked pretty decent. So on the deal, $160,000 price is what I ended up buying for. It was listed for 180 something. After I looked at it and saw the deal, I was like, you know what? This is weird. This is in a neighborhood where there's a bunch of other duplexes. I wonder if this was ever a duplex. And I did the research, found out it had been a duplex 30 years earlier. It was a big family that decided, you know what? We're just going to turn it into a single family home. So it was a 2,400 square foot home. You guys saw the picture. If you're on Facebook, if you're on, the Three Amigos of FI, which FI stands for Financial Independence, or if you're in One Rental at a Times group, you guys will have seen the picture I posted of the house. So here are the numbers. And so I looked at it and I said, I think this can be a duplex again. I called the city. They said, yeah, that's actually zoned duplex. It actually is on paper as a duplex. They didn't go through the conversion. All they did was basically rip out the kitchen on the second floor and take out the door. that went up the stairs that was to the second floor unit, second and third floor. So that deal instantly got sexy. So here are the numbers. This is what we got to. $160K purchase price, $32,000 down payment, $128,000 mortgage. I was able to lock in at 4%, 30-year fixed. Taxes were $4,500. Insurance was $1,205. The current monthly payment, I'm just circling it so I don't lose it when I have to refer to it. The current monthly payment is $1,086. $1,086. Okay. That's the current deal, $1,086. That is the mortgage. It needed $35,000 in get ready costs because I was going to have to add the other kitchen, add a couple of doors. So it was an extra $15,000 I was going to have to put in. And Dawn on Facebook, can I still go? No, you'll need an account, Dawn, on the Facebook thing. Sorry. But you can be anybody that you want to be. That makes sense. I don't know really much of anything about Facebook, in all honesty. I have an account only for this. That's it. So rents are $1,400 for a 2-bed. So the first floor is a 2-bedroom unit. Second floor is a 4-bedroom unit. Second and third floor is a 4-bedroom unit. The 2-bed, and these are housing authority rents. These are Section 8 rents. These are not market rents. I use these as my baseline because I know housing authority rents are less money. So if I only use that as my baseline to figure out what I'm going to get out of the deal, I know that I'm going to get more than that, but I'm safe at that number because I know, let's call it worst case scenario, even though it's not because I rent out units to housing. Let's just say I don't get market rents and I only get housing rents. I'm still looking at $3,700 a month. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. These numbers are going to look ridiculous. So $3,700 a month is what I'm looking at. The gross or the after pity, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. After pity, I make $2,614 a month, which is $31,368 yearly. Now, there's going to be little things, but if I figure for snow plowing and maintenance and water and sewer and blah, 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 after I put all that stuff in, you can call it a couple $100 a month is what it's going to average, but that's about it. But again, I usually, when I'm figuring out housing, I usually will leave those numbers out only because I'm using that baseline of that housing that I'm going to get from the housing authority. I always get significantly more than that, but let's just say those are the numbers. Let's just say those are the numbers. So it's $31,368 yearly, which by my math shows that it's going to be a 46.8% return on capital. And that's including spending $35,000 on make ready costs. 46.81 is what it makes year one. 46.8%, excuse me. 46.8%. It's a big number. It's a big number. Now, let's talk about the BRRR. And again, I still don't believe a lot of these deals. I think there are very few deals, especially like this, that someone can put together. These are very few. These aren't once in a decade deal like Mike Zuber from Orange All the Time talks about, but I probably do one deal like this a year or every other year. So this was a nice deal. And again, remember, I didn't steal this from some homeowner trying to buy it. It was on the market for a month. On the market for a month. So here's what the more fun numbers look like. This house will reappraise. When it reappraises after I finish it and make it back to a duplex, this house is going to reappraise for at least $300,000. Again, that's conservative. I did my own comps, ran my own numbers. It's about $300,000 is what this thing is going to appraise for. I will get a 70% loan to value, which means $210,000 is what this house is going to refinance, is what the mortgage is going to be on this house. $210,000. I've already talked to the bank. They've already, because I've already made application, they've already done a rate lock at 4%, 30-year fixed again. when that refis and reappraises at that 300, I will have a $1,477 a month payment, about $400 a month more expensive. I will still, even with that, I will still have a return of where was it? $2,200 a month is still what my return will be. But I will get paid back. I will get $82,000 cash out over what my balance is currently today. Yep. So I will get $82,000 back. I will have a $210,000 mortgage. My pity will be principal, interest, taxes, and insurance will be $1,477. I will have $47,000 in profit. I will get back my $35,000 make ready cost, and get 82K back. So I've already sunk the 35. I'll get 82,000 back from the bank. And on a monthly basis, I will still make 22, call it 2,200 bucks a month. Yeah, I'll do those deals all day long. So that is the last deal in the Lumberjacks portfolio that we've just finished and put together. And this is all closed, works wrapping up. Kitchens and countertops are the final thing, and those go in this coming week. So if you have questions about that deal, happy to answer them. But yeah, that deal prints money. Okay, back to some questions. And you guys can feel free to ask questions about that deal if you see fit. And Chris, I'm still waiting for you. If you're out there, I will give you the detail that you asked for. ML, good morning. Wanted to get your advice on homes with 70s wall paneling, replace the drywall, paint. So what I found was when I pull that paneling, I found that there's almost always sheetrock underneath. I very rarely find that there isn't sheetrock underneath. So usually what you're able to do is not even have to replace the sheetrock. You can usually just have somebody come in, skim coat it and sand it and then repaint it. But I would do that. A lot of times, the other thing to consider too is sometimes the paneling comes down and sits on top of the trim. Other times that doesn't sit on top of the trim. Other times it goes all the way to the floor and then they put trim up next to it. In that particular case, make sure that you budget for putting back trim, not only for the material, which right now, if you're using the stuff that I use, it's about $1.20 a foot. So figure $1.20 a foot, and then figure my numbers vary. I think I'm $1.50 a foot for install on that stuff. But a typical house, you're looking at maybe 500 feet of it. Yeah, usually 500. Yeah, usually $500 or $600 is it 500 or 600? Yeah. So for baseboard. Yeah, baseboard's usually about 500 or 600 feet in a typical house. And that ranges, but you can literally get that number just by walking around the rooms, measuring all the rooms, and coming up with your number. Then when I count for material, I count for 20% more. That way they never run out. And then I always have leftover sticks, but then I just wait for those for the next job. If you don't have that next job, put them in the garage there, store them somewhere in the basement. That way you have trim that matches that. But that's why I standardize on material. That way I roll from project to project, and I've always got material that we're going project to project. Okay, Chris Miller, you're back though. Okay, Chris Miller gets his opportunity. All right, here we go, my man. Chris Miller, this is how I won these last two deals. On both deals, we'll do one first. We'll do what we'll call the 123 deal. We'll do that one first. On the 123 deal, we saw it hit the market on a Tuesday. They had advertised that there was going to be open houses on Saturday. Knowing the market, knowing the house, not the house, but the style of house, what it is. I actually had my broker. I said, listen, call the broker. I want you to get in there. Whatever you need to do, get in there, but get in there and make sure you're in there way before the open house. He's like, all right, how should we do that? I gave him a pre-approval letter. I gave him a copy of my bank statement with my name on it. That's what one of the things they're going to look at. Bank statement showing funds available for any deposit that I would need to make. And what else did I do? Funds, pre-approval, and basically a short note that basically just said the usual stuff, which is, it's our hope that we're able to put something together that works for both sides. And actually we didn't give that letter yet. Never mind. Didn't give that letter yet. So those are the things that I basically had him call the listing broker and say, here's what I have. I have an investor that is local. He has proof of funds. He has approval. And based on those two things, we just believe it makes sense for us to, would you be willing to let us walk the property beforehand? And she said, I've gotten some requests, but let me take that back to the seller. Seller said, sure. So guess what? We walked it. Went through it. He literally, because I wasn't able to go see it, he basically took a bunch of pictures. In fact, I'll do Zoom live streams where I'll actually have them walk through and I have them look at the certain things that I would look at. My walkthroughs that way take probably about a half hour. So my agent knows upfront that they need to budget a half hour. We did that. The listing price was $489. Listing price was $489. I went and I made an offer 500,000 with only inspections, or excuse me, made the offer of $500,000 and said, we would look for your feedback within 24 hours. That way we didn't get caught with the whole, we didn't want to get caught with the whole open house. They came back in 24 hours and they rejected our offer. No counter, outright rejection, not interested in my offer. So pricing strategy, what does that teach me? That teaches me that even at $489, I offered 500. I didn't ask for any credits. I didn't ask for anything, right? And clean offer. I just said inspection only for our purposes. That was all I said. And I offered a $10,000 deposit. That's what I offered, $10,000 deposit. We put all of that together. They rejected it. They then did the open house on a, Saturday, and then said and then I had my agent, my broker call back. Oh, they did say, hey, will you leave this open? Will you leave this contract open through the open house? No. Do not leave a contract on the table, in my opinion. Do not leave a contract on the table during an open house, because they can instantly tell every single person it's a multi-offer situation. I will not set them up to have a better open house. That's not how this works. That's bad negotiating. So I told my broker, I said, listen, you can tell them, hey, respectfully, we appreciate the opportunity, but you didn't counter. You're clearly not interested. You want to insist on the open house. We understand, that's fine. But for what's right for us is to pull this offer off the table. And so we sent them a letter saying the offer is now voided. They then did the open house. I had my agent call them on Sunday afternoon because I knew that would be before any 24-hour thing would expire. And he said that the agent told him it's a multi-offer situation, that they would be receiving all the offers by the next morning. What we then did, which is different, it's another part of the strategy that differs from a lot of other people, is we asked them, what are the three most important things to you? Because we didn't get that when we asked it on the previous one. What are the three most important things to you? And his answer was price, keeping the tenants that were on one side of the duplex, and appraisal gap. Appraisal gap. Give me a break. Okay, fine. Appraisal gap. We then said, okay, understanding that's the case, write us back an offer based on the other offers that you've gotten. Write us an offer back. Let us know what you would like to see from us in a counter offer. Guess what they did? They didn't write us back an offer, but that agent, after talking with the seller, the next day called my broker and said, well, we would need the offer to be better than last time. Here's the things that we would like in there. Basically, that's essentially what we did. In the previous offer, there were things that they liked. They said, we would want you to resubmit that offer, stronger price. And we said, okay, sounds good. So we offered them back. We offered $525. I upped the deposit to $20,000. I offered them the gap appraisal number that they wanted, which was to save them and keep them safe. So we did the gap appraisal piece. It didn't really affect me at all because I know what this market is. So I will tell you that in a little bit. So we offered that. Then what else do we offer? Oh, inspections for our information. And so if there was something crazy that were horribly wrong with the inspection, I can always send that to my bank. And largely speaking, at that point, the bank will likely pull financing. So just because I still had the financial contingency clause over here, I didn't have to worry about not having the inspection clause. Again, don't do this. This was my deal. This is how I won. I told the bank, I could tell the bank, yeah, there's these major flaws with the building. And it will probably be $50,000 to fix those things. At that point, they will say to me, well, do you have an inspection clause pull out? And I'll say, nope, I don't, not for inspection clause. So, but I wanted to be honest with you, the bank, I want to maintain my relationship with the bank. So I said, this is what the property is. If that were an issue, this is what the property issues are. In many cases, banks at that point will pull financing. And so then you don't get financed, and then you don't have to worry about not having the inspection clause. You get it on the other side because guess what? You don't qualify anymore for the financing because they look at it and say it's a financial risk because now there's get ready costs that are life safety issues, etc. Right? And then they will pull financing, and then they'll give you your letter of your financing being denied. Come on, not one person thinks that was a good idea. People, this is gold. Anyway, so there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, but we won the deal. We weren't the top number. They came back and they said, yep, we'll do this deal with you. And they signed the paperwork and they did it. Again, because we did a thorough walkthrough for that 30 minutes with my broker knows me, knows what I look for, knows what the issues are. I did it live. I had them check. Now they couldn't do full inspection on a lot of things, but they could certainly walk through and give an inspection on things. The key is that some people are so resistant to paying over ask because of just something inside them. You know, just something inside. Oh, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay over. Okay, fine. Don't. Guys, I ran the numbers. The numbers were there and they were killer. I'll share those numbers on that deal once we haven't closed yet, but I will share the numbers on that deal. But suffice to say, I believe the numbers are 20. I believe the numbers are 26, 28. I think they're 28% cash on cash. What about the tenants they wanted to keep? Great question, Pam. Pam's paying attention. I let them stay through the end of their lease. Their lease is over in May. It's fine. I hate the number that they're at. The number's garbage. But when they leave, or I will offer, so they will be binder strategied, just so you know, they will get the chance to stay. But this is a 5-bedroom, 2-bath on each side, 5-bed, 2-bath duplex on each side. This is a massive property. This thing's like 3,600 square feet. So it's 1,800 feet aside. Amazing info, but I'm changing outlets and switches, so I can't respond right at the moment. No problem, Matthew. Appreciate you. Investable, good idea. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think so. So I think that there's always different ways to approach deals. I think there's always different ways to think about new concepts and to think about different ways. You always want to leave some sort of an out. And again, this out isn't being honest. It's literally just telling the bank, hey, they did this inspection report. Look at all the issues. My concern is when doing those issues or when fixing those issues, my concern is there's going to be a lot of upfront make ready costs. And that's going to take some time. And that means it's going to be unrented for X amount of time. And so you can really pile it on. And what is an underwriter? An underwriter is the person behind your mortgage person. The mortgage person then brings that idea to the underwriter. Guess what the underwriter says? Oh, hell no, we're out of this deal. So underwriters, sorry if you're watching, you guys have a horrible job because you have to live with the box that the bank gives you of how to work within a deal and how to work within people's finances. And very little is a judgment call for you. Very much of it is, this is the box I'm given. As things deviate from that box, the deal starts to get loosey-goosey and not good for you, right? Or not good for the bank. So that was something that I wanted to say about Reventure. Reventure Consulting, he spent 7 years as an underwriter. They are completely risk averse. Everything that they do every single day is trying to fit things into a box. I now totally get this guy. I totally get him. He's broken on the inside. He's not a bad person. He's just broken on the inside. His way of thinking is not how any real business owner builds their business. That's simple. Invest to wealth. Great question. What's the new rent? The new rents are going to be conservatively, they will be $2,750 aside. Conservatively. My mortgage, taxes, and insurance, the number is mortgage, taxes, insurance is $2,907. All in, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. $2,907 is my number. And I'll get $2,750 aside. So you also ask yourself, like I said it before, about people getting all anxious about paying over ask. It's not a big deal, guys. It just isn't. And paying well over ask, it just didn't matter. I paid $520. I'm paying $525. $2,907 is going to be the number. $2,907 is my principal, interest, taxes, insurance. $2,907. And rents on one side is $2,750. Wouldn't you guys do a deal like that every day of the week? The crazy thing is, I could have paid $550. I could have paid $575. I just upped my rent 35%. They start, Julie Anderson, I just upped my rent 35%. They start paying the new amount on February 1st. And Julie, were they super thrilled about it, or did they just smile and take it? Chris Miller, had to rewind, listen to your entire offer. The finance contingency replacing the inspection is a phenomenal idea, actually. Thank you very much for sharing. Very informative. Chris Miller, you are welcome, my dude. Now, again, all this stuff I share, this is not advice. Don't sue me, bro, like Dion likes to say. But this is what I did to win a deal. And it's completely legal. I would never do anything illegal to win a deal. But I will do things creatively. Way it goes. Why is escrow an interchangeable term for tax insurance? Chester, I'm betting that you. Oh wait, I see that you had a question up there too, Chester. I'm going to get. So I'll do this question first. Why is escrow an interchangeable term for taxes and insurance? I don't know. I think probably because most people escrow taxes and insurance. I don't escrow taxes and insurance. I only escrow taxes. I don't escrow insurance because I get a bigger deal because I have so many properties. I get a bigger, massive policy that I renew and pay once a year. So I don't do insurance. I do insurance on my numbers when calculating, but I don't do it at payment. But I make it part of the payment so I know what my cost is, if that makes sense. Dan Hunter, I have a rental property closing on 12/30. Is it smarter to put it in service on 12/31 or on 1/1? What's the difference in tax time? Ooh, I have no idea. I'm not an accountant. That's a better question, Dan, for Mike Zuber, one rental at a time. I don't know. We're changing our business into next year to do a better job of getting an accountant or CPA to say, pay it, pay it, pay it, don't pay it, spend it, don't spend it. We suck at that right now, in all honesty. And you know me, I'm completely transparent with you guys. We absolutely suck at that. Suck at it, suck at it, suck at it. We have no idea what our tax liabilities are, heavily speaking, going into next year, which is every year we get a return, which I'm okay with. I don't want to owe the government, that whole, tax-free loan, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to owe the government a whole bunch of money. And so I'm happy to be more conservative in how I pay and what we do. And then wait and see what we get at the end of the year. So one of the things that we're changing about our business now that we've gotten so big is we have to do a better job and being more proactive at really understanding when we should spend and when we shouldn't acquire equipment and that sort of thing. Okay, so sorry, I did see that your other question up there, Chester. I know Michael did this on his show, but I did the math myself on this. If rates were to double in this IR, yep, mortgages would only go up about $400 or $500. Yeah, exactly. Nope, exactly. That's exactly our argument. That's what Mike and I have been saying. These idiots out there that are talking about if it goes to 4%, it's going to blow up the world. No, it's not. Says an underwriter with no purchasing experience or very little purchasing experience. And all he does is look at other people's deals with the rules that the company gave him. So yeah, I wholeheartedly disagree. People buy payment. And so what I like to say is, I'm not buying for appreciation. I don't care if the property appreciates. I just don't care. I just don't care. If it does, great. If it doesn't, great. It will over time, no matter what I do, it'll appreciate. But I'm not looking for that as part. I have nothing in my model that accounts for appreciation because I don't care. I care about one thing and one thing only: cash flow. Cash flow. That's all I care about. Cash flow. That's it. So if I'm doing a deal right now, I need to be worried about one thing and one thing only: what the cash flow is, and am I getting 30-year fixed rate debt? That's the only thing that matters. 30-year fixed rate debt with my cash flow. Now, obviously, if there's a bunch of work that needs to be done on the property, a bunch of updates that need to happen, yeah, I get it. All that stuff is important too. And you obviously have to calculate that as part of your cash flow, but that's still part of that cash flow exercise, right? What's not part of the cash flow exercise is, but you don't understand, it's going to appreciate this much. Okay. So truth be told, I am a real estate weirdo, right? I watch the flip shows. I'm always looking for the next idea. I'm always looking for something cool. I binge watch on Christmas. We had it on in the background while I was playing Candyland with my kids. No, not Monopoly. Samuel's only 4. So we'll wait until next year. And the thing that I saw consistently is these people were flippers in the Orlando and Tampa market. You could pretty much do anything and you were going to make more every single episode. They were putting it on the market for $20,000 to $25,000 more than what they thought they were going to be able to, which is anywhere from 5 to 10%, depending on the house that they were putting on. 5 to 10% increase in the 90-day timeframes it was taking them to flip the house, or 45-day timeframes. This is the kind of market that scares me because prices are going up so fast that even if you're not good at what you do, you can show a massive return. So again, I'm not saying that there's a crash coming, but everything will slow. It will slow down. Promise you that it will absolutely slow down. There's no doubt in my mind. But if an investor's buying a property, the BRRRs are what scare me. The only reason I did the BRRRR that I covered earlier, the only reason was because it was me unearthing value. Single family home zoned as a duplex, was a duplex 40 years ago. No one else did the work. Here's the other thing. The broker that sold that deal, huge, huge mistake on them. That thing would have gone way over ask had she done the work, understood what the actual owner had gone through, Holy cow, that property. Oh my goodness. That thing as it sat would have sold for at least 60,000, 65,000 more. We're sold for 225 all day long. All day long, guaranteed. I'd have paid 225 for it. Truth be told. Look at the numbers. 46% return year one, and that's with a $35,000 out of pocket. Still a 46% return. The numbers on the second year, that house on a monthly basis makes me 2 times what it costs. Guys, the deals are out there, but you have to, in order to get elite, you got to be doing your work every single day, understand the math, watch the ADU deal that I did, watch the ADU video that I did with Analytics Ariel on my channel. Be watching for that, looking for pockets of opportunity. Is it a single family house in an area where there's a bunch of duplexes? Is it a duplexes where there's a bunch of triplexes? Always be looking for angles, and they're there. They're there. Everything that I found was public information. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't because I'm well connected. Public information. It was all there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. REI trainer. This may be a dumb question. Never. Nope. But on a multifamily house hack, is each unit insured differently? How much higher is the property insurance? So great question. That is a great question. It is not insured differently because you live in the building. Because you live in the building, I believe, I don't know if it's changed, but when I lived in the building, I had a policy on it. And because I lived in it and it was owner occ, it was still, it was not just a fire policy, which is really what you get when it's an investment thing. My contents were still covered. Now I still required the tenants to have renters policies, but my policy, because it was owner occ, it was still less expensive. And I still had more than, I still had my personal items covered in the policies that I had. So you'd have to double check the fine print. I would ask, but it wasn't insured differently. It was insured differently, i.e. it wasn't insured as an investment property. It was insured as a owner occupied home that I lived in. So good question. Not a dumb question at all. Chester Williams. That makes sense. Gotcha, my dude. Julie Anderson. Well, a couple are leaving. Okay, which is part of my plan. Exactly. I will renovate those units and charge a couple hundred more. Exactly. But Julie, you did exactly what I talked about on our live stream on Thanksgiving. Not saying that I gave you the idea, just that we're in sync. It's exactly the same page. Before I go and do a bunch of renovations, I do the quick math. Okay, yep, 10,000, 15,000, whatever. All right, Mr. Tenant, rent's going to be going to, or here's what the surrounding rents are. And based on that, what would you be willing to pay for rent? Same binder strategy. Now, when they come back and they say this, I say, you know what? I appreciate that, but this is where I would really need to be. Completely understand if you're ready to move on, but this is where I would like to be, or this is where I would need to be. And if they say yes, great, they stay, and I don't have to do the stuff, right? I don't have to do any of the work. But I still get my number, right? That's close enough that makes sense for me. If they don't, well, then I get my way anyway. Then I do the rehab, then I get the extra couple $100 a month, and I start the path of repaying the improvement that I made to the unit. So yeah, great idea. Don, good idea on escrow on insurance. I have a GL policy that covers everything, and it is a pain for insurance to break it out per building. It's a nightmare. So yeah, and here's the other thing too is I'm a points weirdo on my credit card. I will call and I will pay for my entire policy, and I'll put it on my credit card for my massive policy. Or I have 2 renewals a year, 6 months apart, because now it's gotten so big that, it might max my card, but I call in, I get my points, I pay it. And then before I incur any interest, then I pay that off. That's what I do. And then I don't have to listen to the bank. I don't have to worry about getting them a copy of the bill. I don't have to worry about that they paid it. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And then I know I'm always covered. And I also know that I can squeeze the insurance companies just a little bit and say, listen, that's cool. You don't want this $27,000 renewal for 6 months? Okay, sounds good. We'll shop it. No problem. And I do have a broker for that. And my broker is amazing. Network is your net worth. I have amazing network. And so they help me achieve. But we talk about that all the time. And we really have two primary, yeah, so we have two really good insurance companies that we just let them know that the other one has a bunch of business and they can keep it or they can not. So my insurance guy, yeah. Lou, my boy, my dude, Lou, love you, Lou. Joe, Lou, and Shayna, you guys are awesome. Love you guys. The best. So they make me better in what we do. So yeah, very good. Jeremy Kirkwood. Hey, Jeremy. Merry Christmas to all. Good afternoon, Matt. Question for anyone with experience. Currently need to buy a bunch of mattresses for Airbnb. Anyone have a favorite? I don't often get feedback. Maybe bulk. So you can go to a like a Big Lots or an Ocean State job lot. It really depends on what kind of an Airbnb you're doing. I have done furnished apartments before. We will typically do nicer mattresses, but if you're just looking for like a base mattress, that's a decent base mattress, and you can buy them. They have them in the warehouse. And if people don't love them, you can always buy a cheap mattress and you can buy like a 5-inch or a 3-inch or a 5-inch mattress topper. That's what I've done in my units. And so you can still get a pretty good feel mattress for far less than the others. Bet you didn't know, Jeremy. Bet you didn't know I could give you that feedback because I don't do short-term rentals. I got you. Let's see. Keith Hager, when screening tenants, do you have them fill out an application online? Keith, welcome to the channel. I've not seen your name before. Super excited to have you here. I don't. I send them one. We will probably be bringing an online application to market, but we don't have one now. Right now, we don't. Actually, that's not true. The easiest way is that way. We do have one that we can send through DocuSign if for some reason somebody doesn't have a printer or any other number of reasons. But we do have, so we have done one through DocuSign where we basically have set up a template and we can send it out and they can fill in the blanks. And then also there's an area where you can have them enter text. So we've done that. And then it's just setting up a template in DocuSign. We do all of our leases through DocuSign. It's an easy repository to maintain them and keep them. B, we can set up a template. And C, we can give them a nudge if they haven't signed it in a day or two and just say, hey, we're not going to renew it again. So sign or die. So yeah, great question, Keith. David G. Hey, Matt, tell Zuber that quiet desperation quote is very old and comes from Thoreau. Okay. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. On Walden Pond, 1854. Cool. All right. Thanks. Yeah, I'll pass it on. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Yeah. The only reason I think some of the things I say are original is because no one would be such a jerk to not say them like I say them. So, I mean, honestly, yesterday I felt bad for some people that were giving some stuff. I was crushing some people in some of these on. I mean, I had the baby asleep on me, so all I had was my phone like this. I was just like tap 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 tap. And then somebody was giving me a hard time about my misspelling. I was like, dude, you'd be misspelling too if you could only do it with your thumb with a baby on laying asleep on you. The way it goes. Let's see. Chester Williams. Oh, in my market, I'm seeing 70, 80, 90 plus day properties with no price reductions. Yep. Onesies, twosies are. Yep. But those are few and far between. Yeah. Yep. We're seeing that for sure. But again, a lot of times they're asking for the moon, right? Like they're going nuts. They're going like, why not? Let's put it on for that. That's what happens. And even these deals, like I said, these duplexes, one of them was in, I'll do the other one next week. I'm actually going to do a deep dive on the other deal next week anyway for you guys. If you guys give me feedback, if that stuff is helpful and you like seeing that stuff, either put it in the stream here, but even put it on the questions. If you guys like me sharing deals and showing you the numbers, just put it in there. That's information that I need, because if you guys don't care, then I won't waste my time putting it together. But yeah, we're seeing, I mean, nine offers on one, six or I can't remember, 6 or 7 on the other. 16, was it 16 total? So it was 7, or was it 9 and 6? I don't know. So it was like 6 or 7 offers on the other one. And I wasn't number 1 in either. Number 3 and number 2. And they both went well over ask. Okay. And I won because I think of how we presented our offer, how we structured our offer, how we asked for feedback on our offer. And because of how strong our offer was, strong from what I brought to the table for information. They didn't have to ask me for that. I came to the table ready to go, ready to make that deal happen. And I also took due diligence down to 5 days, because I'd already checked with my inspection guy and said, hey, just need to make sure you can do this, in 5 days. He's like, I'll make it happen for you. I was like, you're the dude. So yeah, there definitely are. There's definitely price adjustments, but some people are asking for the absolute moon. And there's a couple multis that are on in our market right now that are extremely overpriced. They're not adjusting them. They're like, hey, we'll be the last 2 or 3 on the market right now. That's fine. And eventually someone will pay up. And I don't think they're wrong. I think they're right. I've seen it happen. Chester Williams, and I'm starting to see goo gobs of FCs and pre-FCs coming online. I don't know what those are. Chester, tell me what those are. Nicodon, at Jeremy Kirkwood, have you tried those hotel companies? Will they do their remodel by the corporate company requirement? I'm not sure what that is. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Dawn. Julie Anderson, disregard of TMI. Can you share your interest rate and length of your loan on commercial? 375. So 375 on a 5-year, 25-year amortization. I'll answer that stuff, Julie. The only thing I usually won't answer is net worth and monthly rent roll. Those are the only 2 I won't answer, because it's none yet. And frankly, it's not relevant. It's not going to teach anybody anything. Chester Williams, I saw a video yesterday highlighting the difference between being incapable of doing something and being uncomfortable doing something. That's what gets people hung up on getting started. I agree. Get uncomfortable learning a new ability and learn your personal risk tolerance. Totally agree. Totally agree. Hip Heart Silver. Oh, got it. Thanks, Keith. Cool. Hip Heart Silver. Cool. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for coming. Good to have your real name too. Jeremy Cookwood, thanks for the feedback. Yeah, mattress top is the direction I will go. Yep. Cheaper than mattresses with Lux Feel. Yep. Good idea, Don. Know someone in the hotel building space. Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. I see, but buying them in bulk that way. You would be surprised at the deal that you can get at a Big Lots, an Ocean City Job Lot, or even like a mattress discounters, like those other local mattress shops. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what you can get. And the key is, I believe, you buy a firm mattress and then put the 5-inch pillow topper. The 5-inch pillow toppers, buy them online. They're cheap that way, and you can buy them. You can buy like a case of them, because they wrap them up wicked super tight, and then they put them in a box. So yeah, it's yep. So yeah, hopefully that helps. REI Trainer at Jeremy. Yeah, check out Robuilt's YouTube channel. He just went over his top recommended Airbnb products and services, including several mattresses. Oh, that's awesome, REI Trainer. Very cool. Robuilt's. Cool. I'm just gonna write that down too. Always willing to learn, guys. Always willing to learn. Can always get better. Can always get better. Matthew Paris, what's your preferred payment method for rents? On time. Sorry. That's for them having to do your homework for the Orlando area comment earlier. So the best way is truly whatever way they can pay on time. So Venmo, PayPal. If they pay either of those, not friends and family, or they pay the fee. If there's a fee, they pay the fee. Yeah, so they paid the fee. ACH, them depositing it, giving them a deposit slip to my bank and having them deposit it. Don't do that much anymore though, because of how big we are. So we don't do that much anymore. Money order, check, and cash. We actually will do cash. We'll write them something. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So that's preferred payment. Tom Gallant, Tom, hey, I don't recognize your name. I'm sorry, but thank you very much for attending. We need the info. Thank you. Oh, you're absolutely happy to do it. Matthew Paris, that's how you know you're under the skin when all they have to say is that comma isn't necessary. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I just remind him I'm a ninth grade dropout. That's all. I'm like, I didn't finish the ninth grade. What do you expect from me? Prop a grandma? I don't know how to say that stuff. Nisi Ellison, would love to hear about deal drives. Okay, yeah, sure. Happy to do them. Yep, cool. Chester William, foreclosures. Yep, okay, just making sure. Foreclosures and pre-foreclosures, attempting to abbreviate because spelling each of those out is so long. Yeah, I have somebody that sends me a text message and they go, good AM. I'm like, I'm not answering that question. You are not so busy that you can't write good morning. If you can't write good morning, I'm not answering you. So I'm with you. I'm with you, Chester. So foreclosures and pre-foreclosures. So hold on one second. Let me just scroll up, see what the exact question was. You're starting to see them. Yep, sure. Yeah, they're definitely happening. Yep. Yeah, I think watch out. You're going to start to see, Mike and I were talking about this last week. I think we recorded something on it. You're going to start to see ridiculous stuff where people are going to be like, oh my word, foreclosures have quadrupled. They weren't happening last year, or they were so low. Look at the foreclosure numbers now compared to 2019. They're nowhere near where they were. They will get to that point, then they will pass that point. How far past that point they'll get, I don't really know. I've heard of a number of the forbearance and loan workout programs. They're doing 40-year loans. That's why I think it's coming. They're using that to fix a problem. They're then going to realize that there's a bigger problem like this housing affordability. They're going to start making 40-year mortgages a thing again. You watch. I know they're already doing, based on the conversation I had with Dion, and then I talked to a couple other people that I knew. They were like, yeah, we're doing, we've been talked to the banks about adjustable rate mortgages. I was like, oh crap, that's bad news. That's bad news. So yeah, I'm seeing them too, Chester. Yep. Except there's still weird stuff. Like, so it's not been anything nice. It's been, you can tell it's been stuff that's been like forever. And it's dilapidated. It's like right now I'm seeing a lot of the junk foreclosures. We're a ways away from nice foreclosures, I think. Yeah. REI trainer would love to continue hearing about the numbers on deals. Okay, cool. I know multifamily sales are in their posted rents in my buy area. Awesome. Perfect. I love it. Love it. Don, when Hilton tells the franchisee it's time to remodel, they remove everything and list them for sale in big warehouses. Yep, that's true. Just the whole used mattress thing. Ishka. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. Yeah. Yep, not a fan of that. But okay. Tom Gallant, if I buy all cash and try to refi, will the lender go to the actual value of the property or use my purchase price? Yes. It's more, so that is more dependent on the appraiser. They are supposed to value your property. If it's, they're supposed to value your property based on its current market value, not what you paid for it. Yeah. So that's what they're supposed to do. But on refis, you are likely to get more of a more conservative number than you would on a purchase. So I've bought a deal cash. and then got the appraisal back, and the appraisal was lousy. And so I did fine. Like I still got my money out, but most of my money, I think I did leave a little bit behind there. So yeah, it's not an exact science, Tom. It's not. And it really depends on the appraiser. For me, so to give you guys an idea, I had weed last year with the number of deals that we sold, bought, and refinanced. We had 24 appraisals. And the variation to them was unbelievable. There were some people that I was like, all right, yeah, that's actually higher than what I thought. That was some of them. A majority of them was right about in alignment with where I expected to be, plus or minus 3%, we'll call it. And then 2 of them were complete garbage. And I reported that appraiser to the bank, showed them my comps that he chose not to use, showed them my comps, gave them all of the data, all of the information. And I know one of those appraisers is actually now off the bank's list. Do your job, man. Do your job. If I, as a non-appraiser, can put together all of that info and prove that you were 100,000 light, you suck at your job. And you were lazy. So yeah. But you've probably already discussed this, but do you have a preferred luxury vinyl plank flooring? Yes, actually. All right. I think it's been a couple weeks since I've done this. So Renee, I have done a lot of business with this company. In fact, always as full interest and disclosure, I just placed a $15,000 flooring order with these guys. American Flooring Corporation. They have this stuff, vinyl plank, which is the 7-inch. And then they have this stuff. And these aren't the only colors that they have. They have a whole bunch of colors. But you need to call them. You need to call Marty, the flooring guy. Tell them the lumberjack landlord sent you. It will take him some time to get back to you because they are slammed. He's trying to get more help. But call Marty, the flooring guy. Marty, the flooring guy's phone number is 725-212-8610. Again, 725-212-8610. Tell him Matt, the lumberjack landlord, sent you. Here's their residential stuff. Here's their commercial stuff. The thing I like about their commercial stuff is if you use their commercial product in a residential application, it has a 30-year warranty. This stuff is good too. Comes with a pad installed on the back, and it's a grip pad too. I really like this material. Now, all I can tell you is my experience. I started buying flooring from them in July. I have not had any issue getting my product. I have not had any issue with damaged product in the shipment not being replaced. I sent them pictures. They sent boxes out to me, and it wasn't their fault it was damaged. It was a shipping company. So I can tell you my experience. I love these guys. I love Marty. I'm a huge fan. Anytime I find a vendor that's willing to work with us and take care of people and do a good job, I always pass it on. So again, 725-212-8610, Marty the flooring guy. The company is American Flooring Corporation. American Flooring Corporation. You can check them out online, check out their website, see their product. But I've bought, like I said, my initial, I think I bought, what was my initial order? I don't know, around 10 or 12,000 bucks. This order was 15. So in 6 months, I've bought 27,000-ish dollars worth of flooring, 20 something thousand dollars worth of flooring. So yeah, that's the information I would give you. That's the information I would give you about that is that flooring. I've loved it. I've put it in, we've put in 4,000 or 5,000. We put in 4,000 or 5,000 square feet, right around there. Yeah, we put in around I think it's 4,000 or 5,000 square feet we put in. I just ordered another 6,000 square feet, I think. Yeah, we're rolling. We're pushing hard. And like I said, Marty's been awesome. Their support staff was awesome. Our first purchase came in 2 separate shipments because they have multiple warehouses. The second shipment came, there were 10 boxes damaged. I took a picture of all of them, sent them to the customer service team. I think her name was Lisa. Spectacular. Sent that stuff over to them. They actually said, okay, no problem. I didn't fill out anything. They filled out everything. All I had to do was send them the pictures. They said, okay, we'll get those out to you. They shipped them 7 days later. I had my 10 boxes. That's pretty freaking impressive, especially in the land of COVID. So yeah, so far, love those guys. They did a hell of a job. It was great. So hopefully that helps. Renee. Keith Hager. Christmas Eve, worst call ever. I hear you have rentals. I need one by the 1st. Me. I'm so sorry. My rentals are full. Yeah, I know, right? Yep. I had somebody guilting me that hasn't paid rent in 14 months, guilting me. Please give us an extension. You need to let us stay. No, absolutely not. Nope. Because I had a writ of possession. Nope. Matt, we're going to be homeless. No, you're not. You just haven't worked hard enough. And I'm absolutely not letting you stay. You haven't paid rent in 14 months. Well, we'll pay for this next month. So mean you could pay all the way along. You just chose not to. Still no. Bye. Yep. No way. Pass. Jeremy Kirkwood. Wanted to share a story about how our community can impact positively. Had an Airbnb accidentally open. Man reaches out and he can't find a place. Mother died yesterday morning. They cried, went in. Yep. It was literally no room at the inn for their family scenario. Spent all day with kids, making it right for them. Good way to give back. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yep. We busted butt this last month working with with 2 different housing programs. I told the guys, I was like, listen, you guys are saving up for presents. I need these units done as fast as possible to try and get people in there before Christmas. We spent a fortune trying to get stuff done before Christmas. And the good news is we got 5 people in apartments before Christmas. And we actually, we have 3 more that finished this week that we'll get more people into. So totally agree with trying to give back, trying to give people a place to celebrate the holidays. And now in New England, it's snowing. Freaking second plowable storm already this year. So that's good. All right. We only got a little bit of time left before I jump off and go see the family outside. Don, Ben Mala has a YouTube channel. Yep. He's awesome. He is a big hotelier. Yep. In Florida. And he has to do those remodels on his hotels. Yeah. So, Ben's awesome. I think holy cow, that guy is enormous. He makes me look like a midget and I'm like 6'1", 270. So yeah, he's enormous. But and he's a chain smoker, had COVID, just thought that he might have been gone with COVID, but he crushed it, was back at home, bunch of meds, he's killing it. Made it through all his hotels being shut down. Like, man, that guy, he's a beast. He is an absolute beast. So yeah, I think I don't watch a ton of his stuff, but I've watched some of his stuff. Yeah. Renee, many things. I'm getting rid of carpet in my Southern California rentals. Great idea. I always get rid of carpet. Yep. I always get rid of carpet. That's actually why we're doing such a big order. We have a couple units that we're redoing, but like complete gut jobs, but we have probably 2,000 square feet of flooring that we replaced, or carpet pad, ripped up the tack strips, ripped up all the staples, ripped up all that stuff. We did a bunch of that work. I hate carpet. I hate it. Because there's no way to give somebody their deposit back when there's carpet. It costs to clean it and people never pay to have it cleaned. And there's always stains. And I feel awful. I don't want to keep deposit. I don't want to have to fix that and have a tenant have to pay for it. I don't want that. So we go out of our way to make the unit as easy to clean and make right when they get it, to when they leave and then, do their thing. I hate that. I hate it. Give me just 1 second. Let me see. Just text my wife, see if they're here yet. If they are here, I'll go up. I put indoor outdoor rugs over the LVP. It looks great. Yeah, it really does. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that vinyl plank, I tell you, this product is awesome. So good. Tom Gallant, what is your favorite flooring choice? So favorite because of its durability and look and ease of install. It's this stuff. It's this stuff. It's the vinyl plank. I mean, again, I've gone through a ton of different products. I bought a bunch of stuff from the 3 big box stores. That stuff, some of it is such garbage. It actually is made with thinner, cheaper plastic as the tongue and groove. And when you go to then push it in and hammer it in, a lot of it snaps. Their more expensive stuff is fine. But then it's that much more expensive than this stuff. That's why. And this, I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to pick it up. I don't have to, none of that stuff. This gets delivered to where I want it delivered. I mean, I can't ask for anything better than that. Like, that's awesome. I love it. Tom Gallant. So Tom, that's my favorite. That's my favorite stuff right now. More often than not, I will rip up carpet. We just did an entire single family house where we ripped up all the carpet and pad. Guess what? Hardwood floors underneath. Yeah, hardwood floors underneath. 3-inch oak in the entire house. And so we're going to sand it all down. We're going to sand it down, poly it, make it beautiful. Antoine Davis. Antoine, I think I remember your name from before. Good to have you back. Brand of locks that I use. So we use Gatehouse is one of the locks that we use, which is a digital keypad. That's the thing that we use for everything. And we also use hold on. Let me just look. I placed an order for a huge one, for a huge block of them. It was Gatehouses. Where is it? Yeah, Gatehouse. Gatehouse was one, and I think Schlag was the other. No, not Schlag. Schlag was way too expensive. Sorry, guys. All right. So yeah, that's what brand of locks. They're Gatehouse. Home Depot had them on special too. Now it's just eating me up. I have to tell you exactly what it is. Sorry. It's gonna eat at me if I don't. Depot. Defiant is one. Yep. Defiant, Jeremy. Those are some. I'm trying to look at the ones I did this year. Quickset. Quickset is the other ones that I use. Quickset and Defiant. Yep. Quickset and Defiant. Yeah, those are the two brands. Quickset and Defiant. Defiant is more the standard. In fact, they still have a deal on at Home Depot, $49.88, which is the keypad and the handle. If you don't have a deadbolt, those are $49.88, and they actually still have them in stock. The other ones, which actually have a vanity handle, those are already sold out. Those have gone back to non-Black Friday pricing. Defiant is garbage. I disagree, Matthew. Those keypads, I have those deployed in probably 80 doors. I've only had one that I had to yank because it was just junk out of 80. So I haven't had any issues with them. That's just me. Okay. We can keep on going. We'll go until, because I know that this part of the family is notoriously late. So I told my wife we would, okay. I told my wife I would go on the live stream until they showed up. Abdul Mateen Sadef. Let me know if I'm saying that right. Abdul, thanks for coming and showing up. I appreciate you being here. Your name is new to me, so I always appreciate folks coming over and checking this out. What inspired you to get started in real estate investing? I hated the stock market. I think it's a rigged game. Plenty of people make plenty of money. Crypto was non-existent then. I do have some crypto, very small, and NFTs, but again, very small. Jeremy Kirkwood, got to run. Merry Christmas to all. Appreciate that, Jeremy. Enjoy the day, my man. So what got me into it was I had to find a way to a place to put my money that I was making from my W-2 job. I was very successful. I'm very successful in software. And so I had to put it somewhere. And what I liked about real estate was it didn't feel like a rigged game. It felt like something I could educate myself on, learn. I'm decent with my hands. So that's what got me going. I had family in real estate, but I wanted to kind of do my own thing and make my own path. One was in massive multifamily stuff. A couple others were in just residential. And so, decided to get into it because it was something I could learn, something I could manage, something I could grow over time. And never had any idea, dream, thought, feeling that we would get to 100 units. That was not the goal. The goal was do good deals that made me money. That was it. And it was like, you know what, over a 20, 25 year period, have the house paid off. People keep on paying me rent. It means that I don't have to be a slave to the man, and I can, decide to work when I want, where I want, how I want. So that's what I ended up doing. Now I still have my W-2 job, but we'll see how long. Dawn, switching my master key system to the keyless pad system. Very cool. Was that helpful, Dawn, the information I gave you on that? Or what we talked about on the live stream? If it wasn't, you can say it wasn't. It's okay. It won't hurt me. Antoine, yes, it's digital. Yep, it's digital. My daughter out there scraping my car. She's 2. She's just brushing my car off because we got snow last night while she's waiting. What a cutie. Matthew Paris, can't speak to their digital keypads, but their deadbolt are flat junk compared to other brands. Yeah, so I agree with that. Like the regular stuff, I wasn't a fan. And that's why, in fact, Matt, Matthew Paris, that's why we don't give them a key. The only access that they have is the keypad. That's it. Only access is keypad. So, and that saved us a ton, because here's the thing. The only time we need that key to work is if they ignored the blinking red for 4 weeks. But again, we proactively every year, we just change out when their lease renews, when anybody's lease renews, we know to go change out the locks. Or change out the batteries. Matthew Paris, got to go Christmas after. Yep. Cool. God bless. Appreciate your content more than you know. Hey man, appreciate that. Back at you. Enjoy. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you as always, Matt. Informative as always. You're welcome. Chester Williams. Yeah. 45614. For those of you who don't know what 45614 is, it's the day before the day age wise that Mike Zuber retired. It's the day before his retirement day. So kind of the joke is will I retire the day before Mike Zuber retired? We laughed about it. It was something that came up on a live stream. We just started cracking up. I thought of it. I was like, that's really funny. So we'll see. We'll see if I retire. We'll see if I retire a day before Mike did officially. But yeah, I mean, we might. Who knows? If any of this stuff has been helpful to you guys, please hit that like button. That's what is important to making sure that more people get to participate, see that this is a valuable video. I think it's valuable, especially if you're real estate investing. Dave Mellick. Hey, Dave, I don't recall your name, but welcome to the show. Excited to have you here. Hey, Matt, we have done a number of deals and refinances this year, but are now finding our credit scores tanking because of the number of credit inquiries. Yeah, no other credit issues. Any suggestions? So I saw the same thing too. My credit score went from 832 to 754. So yeah. So I don't have any suggestions. What I can tell you is inquiries stay on there for 2 years. I believe that you can file a dispute. My credit monitoring that I have is through TransUnion. I'm waiting to hear back. I sent them something saying that these were all around a purchase, a refi purchase of a block of properties, because I went from 2 inquiries to like 7. And it was in a really condensed time. That score will tick up over time. I don't know how fast. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, that, you know what? I'll tell you exactly. I will tell you exactly how much it went up. Let's see, give me 1 second. So dumb, that open splash screen. Ugh. All right, it is FICO. Okay, score history. All right, so it bounced. Okay, so very interesting. Come on. What? Like, you can't even, like, honestly, you can't even really see that. All right, so I went from 820 to a 762, and then 1 month later up to an 806. So I think give it 30 to 60 days, and I think it'll bounce back for you. Yeah, 762 to 806. And yeah, they're weatherproof, Don. Yep. So that hopefully, Dave, hopefully that answers your question. But let me know if it didn't. Don, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, those locks, Don, the ones you want to stick, like, I like the push button ones where you can actually see the push buttons that are raised past the profile of the lock. The ones that I've had issues with outside are the full digital, like a digital screen pad. They say they're weather resistant. They are, but when it's super, super cold, I've seen issues with those. So those I will only use on interior doors in hallways of, like, 6-unit, 4 and 6-unit buildings where there might be like a shared hallway. I'll use those inside. But yeah, to Dion's point, Dion makes a great point. 2 doors, absolutely. We do the front and the back door. We always do them. Always, always, always. When we change locks on a place, it's only digital. It's only digital. That's the only thing we will do. That's the only thing we will do. That's it. Just those. So yeah, we've never had them go dead at the same time. The problem is some people are just bad words, and then they don't call you when they blink red. And then they don't call you when the first one blinks red. Then they don't call you when the second one blinks red. And then they get locked out. So, yeah. Straightforward, easier stuff. So yeah, Don, they are weatherproof. Have never had an issue with anything because of weather, except for those other ones where when it was like when we had a week of like below zero, those other ones were a little testy. And right after that, we changed them. We changed them to only using them on the interior because of that keypad. So yeah. Any other questions? I'm going to keep on going so long as I don't get summoned to outside because family is always late. Well, that was spam. That wasn't even a question. So next week we'll do another deep dive on another deal that I did. Because that one that I talked about today, that one was the latest of bought, redone, final finish, leased out, rented out, ready to go. Yeah, Colorado gets cold and snowy. Yep, same with New England. Really bad. What tips can you give for scaling up in the beginning? JC Blast, I don't recognize your name. Super cool to have you here. Give me more detail. Like kind of where you're at and where you're going, where you hope to go, because it really matters as far as scaling up. I'll even wait for you to type it. So yeah, big week this week. Tuesday, I've got time with Mike Zuber, one rental at a time. Thursday, we've got the Three Amigos. Thursday night, we have Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack. For those of you guys who don't know about Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack, it's where myself and my wife, we get together and we do at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours, doing a live stream. The purpose of that live stream is because usually one party in the relationship is not on board with doing real estate investing, blah, blah, blah. And so because of that, we had to go through that through our marriage, managing that process through our marriage. And so we just share how we handled it as a couple, how I handled the things that were challenging or that, things that my wife would bring to the table and other stuff that, how I managed that process and then how she would get to feel more comfortable. So a lot of times, people can come, bring their spouse, ask their question. And a lot of times get an answer from her that will make them feel better about kind of the process or understanding. Because a lot of times it's fear of the unknown. So we make ourselves available for Thursday nights for an hour to 2 hours, just answering people's questions as couples. So we're always happy to do that. And yeah, any couples, any questions. Usually there's one person that's really gung ho and then there's another person who isn't. So JC Blast. Okay. This is the last question I'll answer because we got company. All right. So JC Blast, Florida, first 2 duplexes this year. Okay. Would like to grow more in 2022, considering short-term rentals for larger returns, but long-term seems easy and safe. Yeah. So me personally, I hate short-term rentals because of the amount of time that it takes to then manage them. You can probably figure out the process. I'm not the guy to talk to. I like longer term rentals where there's not so much turnover, not so much, use case abuse of the product materials, etc. And so as far as scaling up, the only thing that I would say is if you've already been doing this for a year, you already know what a good or great deal looks like. If you've already been doing it for a year, I would look at what other asset classes. So you say you have 2 duplexes. What about tris? What about quads? Learn another asset in the same market that might be able to broaden your horizon. That's one of the things that I would look at if I were in your shoes. That's what I do. So I started out with one asset type in one market. Then I went to another asset type in the same market. And then I went to other markets with my with my first asset type. So, and now I run 7. So now I review 7 things a day, 7 different asset classes in 3 different markets. So yeah, so now it's 7. I wouldn't say get to 7, but I would say if you're looking to scale, I would be looking at different asset classes in the same market. Because you're already familiar with the market, all the work that you put into knowing good areas, bad areas, rents, rentals, that sort of stuff. So the real key is starting to look at other assets, 3 families, 4 families. That's what I would be doing. Yeah, you're welcome, JC Blast. Good to have you. Hopefully that's helpful. Wolfmaster82, thank you for your time. Have a very Merry Christmas and a great time with your family. Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate you. Have an awesome week, guys. Remember, Tuesdays with Mike Zuber, Thursdays, the 3 Amigos, Thursday night, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack, and then you will find me here again next Sunday. Next Sunday, we'll go full 3 hours. This time was still pretty good. We still went almost a couple. So really appreciate you guys' time. Have an awesome week. Do great deals. And if you have any questions, please put them in the video. I still look at the questions, even though it's a live stream. Afterwards, I still look at all the questions and I'll still answer those. So if you have any, please let me know. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great, super awesome week. Take care.